I started this Gymshark journey back in 2012.
This is Ben Francis, handmade.
I know I talk about the stars aligning and everything falling into place, but the biggest part of this story are the people that I've met along the way. The grafters, the friends, the mentors, the people that have been there for me in my darkest times, but also my best times. The people that have come into this company and joined this journey and believed in it as much as I have. Someone who embodies all of this is our CEO, Steve Hewitt. When Steve joined the company back in June 2015, he helped take Gymshark from strength to strength, and without him, we would not be where we sit today. Now, I sit here because after vacating the position back in 2017,
I'm not Gymshark's CEO.
I am proud to say that from August, I'm going to become Gymshark's CEO again. As if this journey wasn't exciting enough already, it's about to become a hell of a lot more so. And I cannot wait to bring all of you along on this journey with us. I wouldn't miss it for the
One word to describe Ben: relentless.
Like, he's a human, he's a real person. I think that is the best thing about him.
In the nicest way possible, Ben's the weirdest person I've ever met. That's what I'd say. Just that's it.
Challengingly progressive.
Genuine. Humble.
I was waiting for the moment to...
He's going on this journey and he will stop at nothing.
Like, you can't help but get sucked into the adventure with him.
Super honest.
Authentic.
Our very own Elon Musk.
Generous. Approachable. Progressive.
Inspirational.
He's obsessed.
Challenging. Resolute.
Tenacious.
A couple of years ago, when we were on a trip in Hong Kong, me and Steve had a long conversation about the future of the business, where we want it to go, and ultimately the right type of leader to take it to that place. I'm not going to lie, I was fairly surprised at the time because Steve said that he genuinely didn't think that he was the right person to take Gymshark to the next level. The thing that really surprised me is that he said that he thought that I was the right person to take it to the next level. I didn't really say anything. We had the long flight home and I thought about it a lot over the next few days. And about a week later, me and Steve got back together to discuss the role and, you know, what it would look like.
I just want to take us back. Actually, we're in this very room in 2019.
You were starting to talk about the fact that you felt that Gymshark had, I think you could see that it was coming to the point where, you know, you thought you would be able to take it.
Yeah.
And I must admit, when you first said that, I was a bit like, oh God, now what do we do? What's going to go on here? And then I was even more surprised when you said that you thought that I had a chance of being ready to do the CEO role in 2 years' time. It was after that week I sort of had a proper think and realised that in many ways everything that I've done over the last 6 years has brought me to this point. It's prepared me for this new role, and I quickly realised that this wasn't the role for me.
Certainly I look back then and having two options. Do we bring an external CEO, you know, seasoned 20 years worth of experience, and that would probably be the easy option, right? I think for me, the next CEO's always had to be from somebody internally within the organisation, and I think there's nobody knows this organisation better than you, and certainly the way that we tick better than you. You know, when you kicked it off all those years ago, back in 2012.
I'm well aware of the fact that I've got so much more yet to learn, but like I said, equally, I do feel like everything that's, you know, led me to this point has put me in such an amazing position to do this role. I've worked as Gymshark's Chief Marketing Officer, as Gymshark's Chief Brand Officer. I've sat in the Chief Tech Officer roles, the Chief Product Officer roles. I've worked in so many different facets of the business. I really think I'm in an amazing position now where I can amalgamate all of that knowledge, experience and expertise and hopefully be the person that can really help to lead Gymshark to this next level.
I always said I'd take it so far, but now it's really time to hand the reins back to you. So I'm like, I couldn't be more excited for you. I think you will absolutely smash it. Obviously, arguably one of the youngest CEOs in one of the UK's largest private companies. Pretty exciting, but also pretty daunting.
I'm definitely daunted because it's going to be a completely different role to anything I've done before. But I also think that what having that conversation 2 years ago gave me is it gave me something to shoot for. And then all of a sudden it completely reorganised my thinking. So I was the founder of Gymshark. I could jump into where I wanted to be, almost do what I wanted to do within reason. What that allowed me is it gave me license to jump across the business, get involved in areas which I wanted to, and essentially fail without consequence. And that has really turbocharged my learning over the last 6 years. I've been able to not only double down on my strengths, but also work on my weaknesses. As soon as you put this CEO job in front of me, all of a sudden I then realised all of the inadequacies that I had that I needed to rectify to be good enough to do the job. I thought, oh God, I need to get so much better at public speaking. And then all of a sudden I'm meeting people who are really good at public speaking. I'm trying to learn from them and having lessons, and I can then consciously build up the skill set that allows me to do the role.
I remember when you used to talk even in front of our own teams here internally, you used to...
So nervous.
Yeah, and almost tongue-tied. Now it's now become sort of second nature. And one thing that you're really good at is going, you know what, I'm not good at that. And actually I need to really throw myself into it.
So what does this change mean to Gymshark? Now, you guys probably won't notice a massive difference. And the reason for that is I'm already heavily involved in all the different elements of the business, particularly the consumer-facing ones, so brand, marketing, and product. The one thing I think that you will notice a little bit of a difference on is this content. We will make sure that this content continues, and we want to give you an even more in-depth view of Gymshark than ever before. I want to take you on this journey with me as I embark on this role as CEO of one of the largest businesses in the UK. There aren't very many brands that are built in the way that we are, that are at the scale that we are. And I think being able to be at the forefront of that and try and build out what the business looks like in 5, 10, 15, 20 years that's you know, so exciting to me. And just to be at the centre of this amazing culture that, quite frankly, you've led and built. That to me is so exciting.
What have you learned that you think you're going to take into the new role yourself?
Number one, humility. Number two, how important culture is. And I need to get better at probably working with people. And I think that's one of the things that you're excellent at and excel at. And I think I need to probably do better at that. Don't get me wrong, I think I'm better than what I was, but there's a long way to go. So what advice would you give to me going into this role?
Your number one responsibility is your people here. You look after your people, you look after our community, look after the brand, and the sort of the model and the scalability sort of looks after itself. I'm a real big believer in that. So people build brands, simple as that. Two, as a CEO, you have to be always present. In the CEO, you're always on, even if it's at a weekend. And then the last two things would be empathy. And my definition of empathy is very, very easy to understand. It's don't ask somebody how they are and then not wait for the answer. I would rather you not ask the question in the first place if you're not going to really listen to the reply. And the last one is, you know, it's become our mantra in the last few years. The real role of a CEO is to create an environment that everybody wants to be part of. So whether it's community, whether it's employees, whether it's, you know, supplies, whatever it is, it's like, I've got to be part of what they're doing. And once you're in here, you never want to leave. Your role is to make sure that everybody stays humble. And for you, given the success you've had at an early age, it's incredible to see the sort of the person you've come professionally, for sure, but I think way more powerful than that personally, and I know your mum and dad really well, and I know they'd be super proud in terms of you just keeping that humility. So your job is to make sure that that's embedded into everybody's everyday, basically.
How are you feeling about your new role in the business?
I remember you looking at me going, you're not going anywhere. And I was like, hell no, I think we're just at the start of the journey. My job, exec president, that role really focuses on my strengths. So again, all about people, but also all about scaling the organisation commercially. So I'm like, I literally can't wait. And if anybody's joining this team now, it's the most exciting time to join the journey.
I won't lie, when Steve came in as CEO 6 years ago, it really hurt me in the sense that I wanted to be the person that could lead Gymshark, and I knew that that wasn't me. To be sat in this position now, knowing that I'm going into this role, it is daunting. But equally, every single thing that I've done has led me to this point. The ambitions for Gymshark are just huge. We want this to be one of the greatest brands on the planet. We want this to be a brand that outlasts anyone in this building. I want this to be a brand that generations to come can also be proud of.
I think what Steve did in this last 6 years is incredible. You know, I'm absolutely convinced we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. But I think Ben is truly ready now to step into this, what Gymshark now needs in a CEO.
What Ben's done is show so many kids who are sitting in their bedroom right now with no money but a ton of ambition that it is possible from someone from that background.
He's incredibly honest. I definitely think he's honest. You know where you stand with him and he says what he thinks, and I think that's really important in his role.
It's been a roller coaster and a journey like no other, and I never expected to be in such a public-facing position. I've worked alongside all the different departments at Gymshark. We have grown rapidly. I've travelled and worked all over the world now. All of these are things that I never expected to do. And this CEO role is something that I don't think I ever expected to do, but I thought hopefully one day I would be able to do.
I think, speaking on behalf of everyone at Gymshark, we're immensely proud of what he's achieved.
I don't think there's anybody better to lead Gymshark in this next phase of growth to become the biggest British brand ever.
We're moving into the next chapter at Gymshark, and Ben absolutely is the right person to take this brand forward.
The vision started with him, and I think to get to where we need to go, it has to carry on with him.
I don't think he's ever lost sight of who he is and what he stands for.
He's so generous with his time, his energy. I suppose, yeah, very selfless.
He's changed so much. I've never seen anyone so determined to just improve themselves, become the best version of themselves.
His determination to self-betterment is unlike anything I've ever seen. Ben is constantly asking himself, how can I be a better co-worker, a better leader, friend, family member, learner, and fiance.
In a world where people talk a lot but don't say much, Ben has this like innate ability to just sort of cut through the bullshit.
My vision for the future of Gymshark has never been more clear. That we have a once-in-a-generation chance to create a brand that genuinely is one of the greatest brands in the world.
I've enjoyed every single minute of this in the last 6 years, and he'll take this brand to the next level for sure. So yeah, good luck Ben, by your side, always. Cheers fella. Here we go again, well done mate.
And you?